In today's video, we are going to be playing my favorite deck, the Rock. The reason that we are revisiting this is because of the Fury ban. So when looking at our list, there are a few different cards that we have changed around. The two big ones are Call of the Ring, which is similar to Dark Confidant. It's a 2-mana enchantment that says at the beginning of your upkeep, the ring tempts you. Whenever you choose a creature as your ring bearer, you may pay 2 life. If you do, draw a card. And the other card is Bag of Holding, which is a 1-mana artifact that you can tap to loot. And the main reason we have this in the deck is because I'm playing the full 8 discard spells, because I just genuinely think in black, discard spells are the best things that you can do. So we're going to be taking this sweet Rock list through a League of Modern and seeing if the Rock is back after the Fury ban. Match when we're on the draw, and our starting hand is a little land heavy, but it's fine. Then we'll go turn 1 Colony Garden, we'll Shotgun a Tomb, and go turn 1 Reclaimer. I'll plays out a Young Wolf into a Verdant. Another Witherbloom for us. We'll go Swamp, and we'll go turn 2 Goyf. And on our instep, they cast a Chord, finding a Dryad. They play out a Swamp and play out a Yawgmoth. We find a Call of the Ring. We will Shotgun our Tomb and pass. And in the upkeep, we will use our Reclaimer, sacking our Swamp, finding a Saga, and then push their Yawgmoth. They sack a Young Wolf, drawing a card. They sack their Insect, drawing a card, sack the Young Wolf, drawing a card. Then do all this again, going to 7 cards in hand, and then sacking the Young Wolf, finally killing our Targoyf. Now plays a Swamp and do a Blood Artist. Then they play out 2 Delighted Halflings. Another Witherbloom command for us. We will cast out our Witherbloom, killing their Blood Artist and milling us. We'll pick up our Swamp. We get trained for 1, then play out our Swamp into a Call of the Ring. Opponent plays out a Seed of Hope, milling over 2 Bowmasters. Then they play out a Grist, tick up, then they flash into Bowmasters, pinging our Reclaimer, so we will not draw a card. Okay, find a Spell Bomb. We'll float up black with our Saga, picking up a Shadow Spear, cast out our Witherbloom command, killing the Bowmasters and milling us. Picking up our Saga, we'll play a Saga, equip our Shadow Spear, attack the Grist, and they just chump to keep Grist at 1. Then we'll play out our Spellbomb. Opponent takes up with the Grist, plays out a Colony Garden into a Chord of Calling. They activate Yawgmoth a few times. Then they fetch, casting out a Chord, finding a Young Wolf. They sack it, so we'll sack our Spellbomb, get rid of their yard. Then they finally kill our Elvish Reclaimer. Another land for us. Guess we will cast a Witherbloom command, milling us and draining the opponent. Nothing important in our yard, so we'll pick up a Marsh Flats, play that out, and just hold up Saga activations. Another Colony Garden for the opponent. Ticks up Grist, plays out a Wall of Roots, then attacks in for 3. In step, we will activate Saga. They sacrifice a creature into another creature. They're at 3. Ooh, Bloodchief's Thirst, not bad. We'll make another construct, search up a Bag of Holding, play out our Peatland, activate Bag. Ooh, they have a Bowmasters. We'll discard our Blooming Marsh. Then we will Thoughtseize the opponent. And I guess we'll take a Grist. Opponent takes up Grist. Then they attack in, no blocks. And in combat, they proliferate. They proliferate again. They proliferate again. And we're at 7. Okay, we get tempted by the ring. I think we have to draw a card here, sadly. Okay, we find our own Bowmasters. They shoot us for 1. Okay, Witherbloom. Oh my god, wait, we actually won this game? All right, Witherbloom command. We will drain them and I guess kill Bowmasters. Then we will cast our own Bowmasters and shoot the opponent for 1. Wow. And they scoop it up. Let's go down to sideboarding. We're going to take out a Torok, Besaiju, Haywarmite, 2 Inquisitions, Bag of Holding, 2 Witherbloom commands for Bajukabog, 2 EEs, a Soul Guide Lantern, Go for the Throat, Surgical Extraction, Pith Needle, and a Curse Totem. Game 2, starting hand just a little too weak, so we'll mull. And our 6 is just fine. We'll keep putting back a Verdant. We'll go turn 1 Forest into a Halfling. Land for us. We'll go turn 1 Forest into a Reclaimer. I'm going to place a land into a Grist, milling over a Cauldron. Another land for us. Play out our Marsh Flats, fetch a Swamp, cast out our Bowmasters, killing their Insect, and attack Grist for 1. Ooh, opponent ticks up, milling over a Yawgmoth. Then they fetch, so in response, we will Surgical their Yawgmoths. And is Grist, Cauldron, and some others miscellaneous stuff. I mean, their hand's not that great, nor is their deck against us, so yeah, alright. Plays out a Wall of Roots into a Cauldron. Bloodchief's Thirst, great draw. We'll play out our Verdant, play out a Reclaimer, passing. Opponent ticks up, then plays out another Wall of Roots. In the step, we'll fetch Shock and activate a Reclaimer, picking up a Saga. Ooh, Goofball is good. Play a tapped land and hold up Saga. In step, they activate Cauldron, exiling their Bowmasters. Opponent ults their Grist, then plays another Grist, ticking up, and they activate Cauldron. So in response, we do have to use another Reclaimer, picking up a Bajuka Bog, exile in their yard. Then they play another Wall of Roots. We draw a Rot Farm. And in our upkeep, we are going to activate Reclaimer, sacking Saga, finding another Saga. Then we're going to grab our Pithy Needle, naming Grist, play out our Tarmogoyf, then play our Rot Farm, bouncing a Bajuka Bog back to him. Opponent plays a Seed of Hope. No, they find a Haywire Mite, which they put in their hand. Yeah, okay. They sack their Haywire Mite, getting rid of our Pithy Needle. Then they tick up their Grist, activating Cauldron. And they exile our Urza's Saga. Okay, we need a Witherbloom command like ASAP. Okay, we will cast out our Bloodchief's Thirst, killing the Grist. Then attack in with the team. And then after combat, play out our Bog, exiling their yard. Opponent finds a Chord of Calling, ticking up with their Grist. And they attack in. We'll just trade off an army for the insect. Thoughtseize does nothing. Guess we'll fire it off. Taking a Traverse, pick up our Gigantha, playing Verdant, and attack the opponent with our Goyf. And yes, they do jump block. Opponent ticks up their Grist. Oh my goodness, they have a Traverse off the top. All right, I guess we'll activate Reclaimer, although I don't think we have anything to do here. Yeah, and we don't have anything to find. Guess we'll pick up our Peatland. And they reveal a Grist. Then they exile Grist with Cauldron. Start ticking up all their Grists. You could still win this game, but we're going to need some really nice help. And a land just not going to do it. We'll crack our Peatland. Orcish Bowmaster also doesn't do it. So, yep, we have to scoop it up here and get on to game 3. Game 3, our starting hand just a little too weak here. And yeah, this hand's fine. We'll put back our Bajuka Bog. Lead on turn 1 Forest into Reclaimer. Opponent goes turn 1 Colony Garden. We find a Go for the Throat. We will fetch Shock and pass holding up Reclaimer. Another Colony Garden for the opponent. And in step, we'll sack our Forest, picking up a Rot Farm, bouncing our land. Oh, why do we draw our... God, that's not what I wanted. All right, we'll Shock in our Tomb, play out a Reclaimer, and in step they activate a Seed of Hope. Then they play out a Cauldron, play another Colony Garden. Guess this E is going to be pretty nice here. In step we'll activate Reclaimer, picking up our Saga. In step they use their Saga or their or whatever the heck this is called. All right, we draw a Surgical. We'll play out our EE, pop it, play Shadow Spear, play a Bajuka Bog, exile their yard, and attack in for 6. Opponent plays out a Rex Sage, killing our Saga into an Urborg. Land for us. Play that out. Attack in with one of our Reclaimers, and then hold up all of our stuff. Opponent plays a land into a Chord, finding a Grist, ticking up. We'll activate our Reclaimer on the end step, picking up a Saga. Soul Guide Lantern, not bad. Equip our Reclaimer with a Shadow Spear. Attack the opponent for 3 and the Grist for 4, and they let it just happen. That's nice. Then they activate Cauldron, trying to get their Grist, and we will Surgical it. Okay, take Grist, all of them out of here. Of note, the only thing that really matters in their hand is a Chord, which can find a Yawgmoth, but we can even go for the throat that. So I think we're in a good spot here. Play out a land, cast out a Shieldred. In step, we will go for the throat the Shieldred, and in response, they Chord for 1. Which means they're grabbing, Haywire Mite. Sack it, getting rid of our Saga. Then they activate their Cauldron now. Getting a Haywire Mite underneath it. Springleaf Drum, not a great draw. We'll just attack with the team. Then play out our Soul Guide Lantern, exiling their Shieldred. Then play out Springleaf Drum. One plays out a Colony Garden. They attack in for 2. Their hand is just 2 Traverses. They sack their insect. Getting rid of our Soul Guide Lantern will exile their yard. Then they cast a Traverse, up a Forest. Oh my goodness, finally a good one. Oh, that's such a good draw. We'll play out Cursed Totem. That was such a good one. Then we will attack in with the team. I'm just double blocks here. Going down to 2. They top deck a Yawgmoth, which cannot be activated. And that should be GG. Find a land, we'll attack in. Oh yeah, they have a Dryad Arbor. Okay. That's they had to block the other way. All right, and looks like we are 1-0. Let's get on to match number 2. Match 2, we're on the draw. Starting hand is a little too weak, and our 6 is much stronger. We will put back a Witherbloom command. Then it goes turn 1 Bloodstained Mire. We'll go turn 1 Swamp into an Inquisition. It looks like we're up against a creative creativity deck. All right, we'll take the Fable here. Oh, it shocks in a Steam Vents, playing out a Wrenn and ticking it up. We find a Verdant, we'll Thoughtseize them, and we'll take their Verdant 6, playing out a Verdant. Oh, it ticks up a Wrenn, plays out a Bloodstained Mire. Another discard spell. We will fire off our Witherbloom command, milling us and killing their Wrenn. Picking up our Verdant, we will fetch Shock and fire off a Thoughtseize, and we'll take the Leyline Binding. Another land for us, we'll fire off Inquisition, and they bolt us. Yep, their hand just lands in Archon. We'll play out a Saga, pick up Gigantha. Oh, plays a land, and then attacks us for 1. Bowmaster's Great Draw. Shocking our Over Your Tomb Bass. We're gonna attacks in. We'll flash in our Bowmasters, killing their Dwarf. And in step, we'll make a Saga token. Find a Reclaimer, activate Saga. We'll pick up a Shadow Spear, equip Shadow Spear to our Construct. When we cast out a Leyline Binding, taking out our Construct. We'll attack in for 1. Play out Beseiju into a Reclaimer. Another Dwarf Mind for the opponent. We find a Goofball, back in with a Construct and an Army. Block our Army. We'll play out our Tarmogoyf and hold our Reclaimer. They do have enough for an Archon. We might be able to beat this, which is kind of funny. Yeah, they play out an Archon. We'll sack the Construct. Then we get a Bowmaster trigger. We'll shoot them. And then activate Reclaimer. Picking up a Saga. Another Goyf. Okay, we will equip Goyf with a Shadow Spear. Pack in with everything. And they have to... Okay, this is weird. I'm not wrong. They just die if they attack. I'm not sure how triggers happen. They need something to remove the Spellmasters, though, I believe. Yep, opponent attacks. We'll sack our Orc. Okay, no, that's not how it works. We'll shoot them for 1. Please, no bolt. Or Wrenn in 6. Please. No. That was such a close game. That was a fun one. All right, let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take out 4 pushes and a Bloodchief Thirst for 2 E's, a Pithy Needle, Torok, and a Collective Brutality. Game 2, our hand's just a little too landlight, so mole. Oh, this hand's risky. I like risk, though. I think we're going to get rid of Brutality. Lead on turn 1 Swamp into a Thoughtseize. And Fable is the only proactive thing, so we'll take that. We find an Inquisition. We'll play out our Saga passing. Alrighty. Well, I guess we're losing this one. Dwarf Mind for the opponent. Ooh, land for us. We'll float 1 off of Saga. Pick up a Nile Spellbomb. Play out Blooming Marsh into a Tarmogoyf. Opponent fires off an ending on our Goyf. No land for them. And fire off Inquisition. Look at us. This is a tough one. I think we're supposed to take Wrenn and Creativity. I think that's the best option. Not sure though. Like everything else is so meh. I don't know. They're like kind of all the same thing. Opponent shocks in a Foundry. We draw a Torok. We'll pop our Spellbomb, drawing a card. And I guess we're passing. Nothing for the opponent. I guess we're playing out Torok here. And that needs a bolt. Oh my goodness. Thoughtseize, stop. We'll play it our Reclaimer. Wow, they've reprieved that. Land go for the opponent. And we find a Saga. Holy, that's a good draw. Then we will play out a Reclaimer again. Opponent fires off an ending. Witherbloom for us. They'll play out an EE for 0 and hold up Saga activations. Nothing from the opponent. We'll make a Construct. Verdant for us. We'll use Saga again. Pick up Springleaf Drum. Pack in for 4. And in combat, they flash in a Leyline Binding, taking out our Construct. So let's fetch Shock and play out the Goofball. Okay, that means another Leyline Binding. Fine. Opponent plays out a Fable. Another Witherbloom for us. We'll attack in. Fire off a Witherbloom command, milling and draining the opponent. They'll probably Veil in response to this. Yep. Then we can pick up our Saga, play that out, and hold up EE here, which you probably have to do, sadly. They discard an Arid Mesa, go to combat, pack in, and we'll just blow up EE now. Uh-oh. No! Don't tell me about creativity! And they do. Finding an Iona? Wait a moment. We might be able to beat that. They name black. I mean, that's better than Archon. Yeah, I mean, this is exactly why it's better than Archon. I mean, we just have a Goyf that we can cast, and we'll just hold up Saga activations this turn. When it plays a land, attacks in for 7. We'll make a Construct. Find an Urborg. We will make another Construct. Oh, Urborg's so awkward. I didn't even think about that. I don't even think we can play out Urborg here. I mean, I kind of think we have to, sadly. The only way we win this game is if we land a Tarmogoyf here and then race them. But this seems so bad because now they can just cast an Archon next turn. Then we cast a Fire, taking out our army stuff. So we'll attack in for 3. Okay, don't draw land, please. Oh wait, they had 8 mana anyways, didn't they? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, they did. All right, well, we weren't winning this game regardless, so we'll scoop it up and get on to match number 3. Match 3, we are on the draw, and our hand looks fine. Turn 1 Misty for the opponent. We find another land. We'll go turn 1 Inquisition. Ah, yes. Let's go. Well, at least our Spellbomb is in hand, so that's a plus. And on the end step, they cycle a Curator. Opponent evokes out of Grief. Yeah, taking our Spellbomb into cycling a Troll for a Blood Crypt and cycling a Striped Further Rewinder. We find a Goofball. We'll play out our Saga, and we'll cast it our go with. Tap Blood Crypt for the opponent. Upkeep, they take out our Boseiju, or they use Boseiju to take out our Urza Saga. So we will flash our Bowmasters in the upkeep, shooting them for 1, finding a Reclaimer, play that out into a Verdant, attacking for 5. Opponent plays a Forest and then bounces our Reclaimer with Otawara. Boseiju for us, pack in, play out our Reclaimer into a Verdant. They cycle a Riverwinder, we will shoot them for 1, and they scoop it up. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're going to take on a Haywire Might, Bag of Holding, and 4 pushes for a Go for the Throat, Surgical, Collect Brutality, Torok, Bajuka Bog, and a Soul Guide Lantern. Game 2, starting hand looks fine. It goes turn 1 Breeding Pool, we'll lead on turn 1 Swamp into an Inquisition, and we'll take the Shardless. They are on a Mold of 4 here as well. When it plays a Misty, we will play out our Lantern, take out their Shardless into a bounce land, bouncing our Swamp. When it shocks into Steam Vents, we'll play out our Swamp, fire off a Thoughtseize. They flash into Endurance, we'll take their Subtlety, then play out our Tarmogoyf. When it plays a tapped land, we'll play out our Saga, attack in with the Goyf, and they block our Goyf. So we will cast out a Brutality, giving it -2, and then duressing them, discarding a Reclaimer. We see a Street Wraith, then we will play out a Bowmasters and shoot the opponent for 1. In response, they cycle Street Wraith, and opponent scoops it up. Let's get on to match number 4. Match 4, we are on the play, and so our hand looks fine. We'll lead on turn 1 Swamp into an Inquisition. Oh my lord, this Ochre Sporemaster is going to be so good. Yeah, we'll take their Aether Vial. When it goes turn 1 Cavern, we will fetch Shock and go turn 2 Goyf. When it goes Courtyard into an Inti. Reclaimer for us. We'll attack in for 3. Play out our Reclaimer into a Shadow Spear, and then play Rot Farm, bouncing our Swamp. When it plays an Island into a Reflector Mage, bouncing our Goof. They attack in, discarding a Cavern, and putting a +1/+1 counter on their NT. Another land for us, we'll go Swamp, pass back, holding up both of our Bowmasters. Opponent plays out a Champion into a Mantis Rider, and we will flash our Bowmaster, killing their Champion in response. Then they attack in with their Mantis Rider, and on the end step, we will sack land, finding a Urza Saga. Ooh, another Goyf for us. We will play out a Goyf into another Goyf, then play out a tapped land, passing. Opponent plays out a Lieutenant, then they attack in with their Rider, discarding land, putting a +1 on their Rider, and exiling a Meddling Mage, which they can play out. They play it out, naming Fatal Push. Ooh, Witherbloom for us. Load of mana off of Saga. We'll pick up a Haywire Might, then we will equip a Goyf with a Shadow Spear, attacking with both of our Tarmogoyfs, and they take the damage. So we will cast out a Witherbloom Clan, milling us and draining the opponent, pick up our Saga, play it out, and pass. Or attacks with the Rider, using NT to put a counter on it, exiling a Cavern. They play out a Cavern, passing, and step will flash in our Bowmasters, shooting them for 1, and that should be game. Yep, they can scoop it up. Let's get on to sideboarding. We're gonna take out Nile Spellbomb, Bag of Holding, and 4 Thoughtseize for Haywire Might, 2 EEs, a Go for the Throat, Collect Brutality, and a Torok. Game 2, hand just doesn't have any colored sources, so we got a mull. And yeah, this hand's fine. We'll put back a Verdant. When it goes turn 1 Cavern into a Hierarch, we find a Goyf, we'll go turn 1 Verdant. When it plays out another Noble, then attacks in for 2. No land, that's nice. Another Goyf for us, we'll play out our Marsh, and then cast out a Bowmasters, pinging down one of the Hierarchs. Opponent plays out an Aether Vial. Come on, land. Oh my, okay, well, I'll see you all in match 5. They might not actually scoop up here, but this game is so over. We pop EE, attacking for 2. Opponent plays out a Jarina. We find a Go for the Throat. We'll play out a Goofball into a Shadow Spear. Opponent plays out an Inti, and they attack in, and we will not block. Okay, Fatal Push is good. We will push the Jarina, which they sack in response, and in response to that, we will Go for Throat the NT, then attack in. Opponent plays out a Champion. Inquisition, we'll fire that off. We'll take the Reflector Mage, then play out another Goyf, back in with the team, and opponent scoops up. Let's get on to match number 5. Match 5, we're on the draw, and starting hand looks fine. Opponent goes turn 1 Arid Mesa. We'll lead on turn 1 Fetch Shock into an Inquisition. And that meets a Spell Pierce. Opponent plays out a Tarn. We play out our Saga into a Springleaf Drum and an Elvish Reclaimer. Opponent plays out a Teferi, bounty our Reclaimer. Another push for us. We'll play Swamp into a Reclaimer, holding up Saga. Opponent ticks up Teferi, playing out a Tarn. In the step, we will make a Construct. Oh, and we're up against Creativity again. And if they do have a Creativity, we are pretty much dead here. Yeah. All right, I don't think there's anything we could have done about this game. Their hand was just perfect. We'll sack Reclaimer, get rid of our Rot Farm, Orcish Bowmasters. I don't think is gonna do it. Guess we'll float a mana off Saga. And looking at our deck, yeah, we just don't have any way of killing this other than Bloodchief's Thirst, which we don't have a way to. I guess we can technically draw into it. We'll grab Spell Bomb, pop it, draw a card, and yeah, we would need to draw Bloodchief's Thirst there, and we didn't, so we'll scoop it up and get on to sideboarding. We're gonna take out 4 pushes, a Spell Bomb, and 2 Witherbloom cans for a Go for the Throat, Pithy Needle, Brutality, Torok, 2 EEs, and a Choke. Game 2, starting hand just a little too weak, so we'll mull. And this hand looks fine. We will keep putting back our Reclaimer. We'll lead on turn 1 Marsh into a Reclaimer. It goes turn 1 Stomping Ground into a Bolt on our Reclaimer. Another Marsh for us. We'll play that out into a Bag of Holding. This Choke is not looking good. Oh, plays out a Rin, ticking up on their Bloodstained Mire. Fetch land for us. We're gonna fetch before we cast our Witherbloom, picking up a Swamp, and then fire off our Witherbloom, killing the Rin and milling us and picking up a land. And yeah, we'll just grab a Verdant. Fetch Shocks into a Fable. We find a Call of the Ring. We'll play out our land and pass. They discard a Persist and a Dwarven Mine. They attack in. And I will say, I kind of mis-sideboarded. I saw more blue lands in the first game, so I thought this was like not 5-color creativity, so this Choke was just kind of poor. Then they play out a Teferi into a Dwarven Mine. They tick up the Tef. We'll activate Bag, bin the Choke, fetch, find a Shadowsphere. We'll activate Bag now. Hopefully we find a discard spell. That is not it. We'll play or discard our Rot Farm, play out the Goof into a Verdant, finding our Forest and playing out a Shadowsphere. Not really bluffing anything, especially with Teferi out. They flip their Fable, play out a Dwarven Mine. Yep, and then they Creativity into 2 Archons. So opponent got us there. We'll scoop it up and we end up going positive. Not a bad sign. So overall, was very happy with this list. There's a reason that I'm not really upset with it. Like, we have a bunch of 1-ofs in our sideboard. Our main deck's looking a little bit different, and that's because, you know, with a change of meta, banning a Fury, it's really hard to, you know, figure out what's going to happen and what we're going to play against. For example, in this league, we lost to 2 Creativity decks, which, you know, Creativity has always been a tough matchup, but especially with the way that our deck's, you know, currently formulated, it's not the best matchup. We could definitely make it better. It's not like we didn't draw like optimally either. We didn't find much discard spell. The one that we did have got Spell Pierce, so I'm not terribly upset with the, you know, showing. We beat the decks that we should have, and I think we lost the deck that, you know, we really don't have a chance against. As for cards in the sideboard that I wasn't terribly happy with, like Surgical wasn't great, Terra Sunder and Choke. I didn't see any One Rings. You know, Terra Sunder might be better if, you know, with more data and playing against more decks, because I just didn't see anything that this was terribly, you know, important against. EE always continues to impress. I do think Curse Totem is fine. Yawgmoth is definitely one of the better decks in the format, and that is a very good card against them. So I think that alongside a Pithy Needle basically locks down their entire deck. I can't really be upset with, you know, the 1 CMC artifacts like Pithy Needle, Soul Guide Lantern, Haywire Might. I think Bajuka Bog's always going to be needed. Jagantha might not be needed anymore, so I might play around with adding some, you know, double pip cards or just, you know, playing without it because it never really came up. But anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Please let me know down below if you want to see more rock, and I'll see you guys in the next video.